Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast the haunted attraction hunter entertainment industry. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you with a slightly late one. Still going out on Monday.
Yes.
So not a day late, but later than we usually like to get these up because we have been insanely busy for reasons we'll be discussing in a minute. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, it's not haunt related.
No.
But it is good stuff, ostensibly. Yeah. It's very, very good stuff that's kept us busy. And partly because we may get a new recording space out of it once everything is settled. In fact, we just got one of the elements we needed for that.
Right.
Today we'll talk about it all in just a minute. But please stay tuned on what's happening with us. We're at hauntweekly.com, Facebook. We're Haunt Weekly on both Facebook and Twitter. We're also at YouTube as Haunt Weekly. It's youtube.com/hauntweekly. That's our YouTube channel. A great way to have easy access to every episode. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts from. And soon enough, we do plan on starting up live broadcast again semi-regularly. Those will be Sundays at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern at facebook.com/hauntweekly. Stay tuned there. All right. Well, this week's episode is something of the opposite of the last one we did.
Right.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, last thing we talked about things we were keeping.
Yeah.
Because a lot went right.
A lot did. In fact, I would say most things went right.
Yeah. So this week we're talking about things that we're getting rid of. We're chucking it.
And here's the thing. Like, in the first one, we talked about 7 things we did new this year.
Yeah.
That we are keeping and we're happy about. This time around, a lot of these actually been around for a while. And we're changing them because of this year. For next year, rather.
Right.
So and that's because I think of the stuff we did new, we had way more winners than losers.
Yeah.
I think for every loser we had at least 7 winners. Which last week, filling out the list was tough.
Mm-hmm.
This week, picking just 7 was tough. This week, getting to 7 was tough. Yeah. In fact, I had to cheat a little bit, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I know, and I added a bonus.
All right, that's fine. So 7 and a bonus. But anyways, first things first, we do have a question of the week every week. And last week's question was, what did you all do this year that was new that you're keeping? And it looks like we weren't the only ones with successful years.
No.
So why don't you get started?
All right. Chris Gay said, upgrading to a Pixel Phone 6 for great low-light photos.
Yeah, he said that he had upgraded his phone recently to a Pixel 6 in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And was blown away at the great photos he was taking in low-light settings. And I've got to say, on our end, we upgraded in the last year to the iPhone 13.
Right.
And had a very similar experience.
Yeah, like we've noticed that the nighttime photos are just
immaculate.
Really good.
Really, really good. Like better than you could get with a traditional DSLR camera in a lot of cases, or as good at least.
Well, at least an older one.
Yeah. No, but we've been genuinely impressed. And I guess we actually had a conversation about this on the thread. And we all agreed, if you have a phone that's more than like 2 years old and you're trying to get low light shots of your haunt, upgrade. Whether you go Android or whether you go iOS, upgrade. Now's a great time.
Yeah.
For that purpose. Also, Max Stick said the use of organic lighting, they got rid of all the flood LEDs and all the colored lights and just went with organic lights, light bulbs that were in, lamps, for example.
Yeah.
Or light bulbs that were behind things that should light up, like I guess the bat thing for X-rays, whatever that thing is that you hold the X-rays up to, things like that. And I love it. I'm not going to say there's no use for inorganic lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go that far. But yeah, as much organic lighting as you can get.
Yeah, and we tend to do that too, or try to. We're not always successful.
No.
But
here's the thing. I think having a lot of rooms that have an organic lighting scheme like that, and then one room that's just clearly harshly flooded with a red light or a blue light or something that's very off-putting, that can be very, very good to change with it. Focus on some variability in your lighting. So I can see that being good. But yeah, I do agree. Mostly or nearly all organic lighting makes a ton of sense.
Right. And his customers even told them that, it
was more
added
immersive. Yeah.
to the feel of
Yeah.
the haunt. And
And I agree.
I could see that.
I agree completely.
All right.
And honestly, I think next year when I go through haunts, it's going to be one of the things I'm looking for more.
Yeah.
Next up.
Right. Victor Ruelas said Laser Swamp turned out to be amazingly effective. You know, after Dancing Santa, I'm not going to bring anything into question.
Yeah, the Dancing Santa controversy of 2022 has silenced any discussion on what scares
isn't
are too
effective.
cheesy or too simple to work. I mean, because if a fucking dancing Santa in a lab coat
Mm-hmm.
can make people freeze in their tracks, yeah, Laser Swamp can too. I mean, there's absolutely believable. And I've never been a fan of Laser Swamps, but you don't question success.
Yeah.
Randall Taryn said something I think every haunter should hear. He said, all my new good wood, all other wood has to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we've been working on that ourselves over the past few years. I think we've got one piece of OSB still.
Yeah, and
it came down after season. That's part of the work we did.
we have two pieces of OSB then.
Oh, okay.
We have one in the bar sequence. It's what the window is made out of behind the bar.
True. Yeah.
It's not a full panel though. I see why you didn't think of it. But yeah, all the other panels have plywood on it. And yes, plywood is more expensive than OSB, but it holds up so much better. It takes paint so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, I get it. You know, when we were first doing this, especially here in the garage, we had no money.
Mm-hmm.
We had a brand new mortgage
Yeah.
that we could barely make. And we're trying to do a haunted house on like pennies.
Yeah.
OSB looks pretty fucking good.
Well, yeah, especially because the OSB was an upgrade from the Masonite.
Yeah. Which don't work with Masonite, kids.
I mean, you could put it over OSB and then it's easy to paint. You know, you can combine the two.
Fair, but don't use it as the skin.
Right.
Moving on.
All right. Maximus Christian Bryant said a partnership of local pro haunts to get donated props. This is a great idea.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to do that, just because we prefer to make and
Mm-hmm.
as much of our own stuff as we can. I really love that maker spirit we have, but at the same time, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, pro haunts could get together and say, "Hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Can we take this for that?" And then kind of do a swap meet type thing at the pro level.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I definitely think, especially for high-end props and masks and things,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there could be a lot of usefulness there. I know that haunted garage sales are a big deal in some places. I definitely see potential for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many are going to be amenable to it. And finally this week, Kevin Hopkins said he invited a local film production class by. Many of them came by and did practice their low light shooting and did other things. And some even took an interest in the haunt itself.
Yeah.
I think that is great. I think that's a wonderful idea. I'm going to have to see if there is a film class at Edna Carr or L.B. Landry High School, the two high schools that are nearby,
Mm-hmm.
and see if maybe they would be interested in doing some partner-y stuff.
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot of fun. All right. Even though we're in mid-November, we did do some stuff for the haunt. We're trying to get back in that tradition.
Yes, but this week's question of the
Oh,
week
yeah. Sorry. Good point. Yeah. How did I ever forget? It is kind of the opposite. What we're answering in the main episode.
Yeah.
What are you definitely changing next year? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter and Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. Leave a comment there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. We'll also be posting the question of the week on our Facebook page, Facebook.com/HauntWeekly. That's one of the great places to get in on the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, now we can talk about the work we did.
Yes.
Yeah. I even wrote the fucking notes. I have no justification for missing that beat.
That's okay.
Good catch. The work we did for our haunt, we've started tearing down the light display.
Yes.
It's going well, but unfortunately, we have been incredibly busy right now. All we've done is tear down about half the lights.
Yeah.
Which is actually still a lot of fucking lights we took down, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And took down the pumpkins.
Yes.
And bought some pumpkin storage because some of our storage is getting a little old.
And we have bins of bad sizes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to get pumpkin-sized bins.
Yeah, if anyone could give us a lead on this, where you get tubs big enough for storing a lot of pumpkins. Because pumpkins are light.
Yeah.
And so even if it's this giant, unwieldy looking bin, it'll still be light enough to carry.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe we should look at trash cans.
Maybe. I don't know, because we have struggled with this every year, and we never find what I would consider pumpkin-sized bins.
No, we bought the biggest bins available.
Yeah, in our area, and they still only hold like 8 pumpkins.
Yeah.
So if you got any leads on that, let us know. I'm actually curious about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, the main thing we've been had going on for us personally, and the reason we're late today, is Ellie's Yarn Store had a soft open on Friday.
Yes.
An emphasis on soft open here.
Right.
Like, marketing was like negative.
Yeah, on purpose.
On purpose. Because, A, up until yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have internet there.
Right.
Which made taking electronic payments a bit challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie was able to make it work. But it also made inventorying and a lot of things we're trying to do challenging too. We're now set up with internet. It was the last thing we got done Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Saturday? Or was it Sunday?
No, it was Sunday.
It was Sunday. We got it done. So literally, like as we were closing the store for Sunday, we got the internet fully up.
Right.
So we'll reopen. It reopens on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be a little bit more of an open. We'll have an ad campaign starting. But the actual grand opening is Small Business Saturday, which is the 26th.
Yeah. So I've still got a lot of work to do for the store.
So do
But it is taking up some time.
Yeah.
I found a couch for it this weekend.
Yes, you did. That was interesting. And
So,
like we mentioned in last week's, our coffin ended up there. Our coffin
Yeah.
closet ended up there.
yeah.
So we've been,
Probably.
but yeah, we've been extremely busy because there's a million balls to juggle. Because I would like the space to be as open as possible because there's a lot of elements to it. It's got a yarn store.
Mm-hmm.
And what's largely done is the indexing and the inventorying and displaying of all the yarn.
Yeah.
Which admittedly for a yarn store is important.
It is.
We're still inventorying and displaying needles, hooks, crochet hooks, and accessories.
Mm-hmm.
We're still working on that. That is still an ongoing project. Also, we have a lending library, or Ellie has a lending. I keep saying we, but it's really Ellie's store. There's a lending library at the store. We have about 60% of the books indexed for that. None actually displayed.
Yeah.
So, got to do that. We got to finish getting the fabrication room set up, and we got to finish getting the meeting space set up.
Mm-hmm.
The dyeing room probably will not be ready for open. I don't think there's much of a way that's going to happen.
No, I think it will.
But it's not going to be a public space by the time we open.
Okay.
And I don't think, in fact, I'm pretty confident the fabrication room will not be all the way open.
Yeah.
I don't know how public facing that space is ever going to be.
The fabrication one, which is you're calling it fabrication today. Well, you normally call it the tech room. That's where the Cricut is and the 3D printer.
Yeah, and anything else that might be used in the production or the fabrication of items for the store and its customers.
Yeah, and the 3D printer isn't even here yet. Like, we don't know where it is.
Well,
it was a Kickstarter.
It was a Kickstarter. It supposedly is coming very soon.
Yeah.
But even if we got it today between setup, configuration, testing, and all that, it ain't going to be ready for opening.
Yeah.
So even if we got it like 5 minutes ago, ding dong, it's at our door now.
Yeah, the dyeing room, though, I'm hoping to get it set up because I'm hoping to get the coffin stained and fixed and everything probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that the smell's out of there by the time we open Thursday, because stain is stinky.
Stain is stinky. But yeah, and we also got to finish setting up the display case in the main store.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we know how to do it.
Yeah.
And proof of concept happened. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead. Explain this one to the nice people out there.
So the little shelving brackets that go inside of display cases apparently have changed by millimeters in the
really
past,
tiny amounts. And we're not talking much.
No, in the past couple of years, because every one that we've bought and tried to fit into this thing
has not
fit.
And it's frustrating because we bought this one. One of the things about the store is A, we're trying to be price conscious. We don't have a huge startup pool for this store. Mm-hmm. And B, we're trying to be environmentally sound.
Right.
And we had an excellent opportunity to buy a secondhand display case.
Yeah.
We took it. and did not realize it did not come with the bracket. It came with the shelves. The glass shelves are in
Right.
there. Did not come with the brackets for those shelves. And like you said, the ones you buy at the store, even though they look the same and act the same and should be the same, don't fit. And so
Right.
what we're having to do is with a Dremel or a hand file down the actual shelving hook part, the hook part that goes in.
Mm-hmm.
And we've finished 1 out of 6.
Yeah.
That's where we are with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Granted, we only had like 30 minutes of time on that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. So that is a working project. But all that stuff's going on. That's why we haven't been making amazing progress on Haunt Weekly and also on our Haunt itself.
Right.
So that's explaining what that is about. But yeah, I expect the work for the Haunt itself to pick up in earnest Thanksgiving and winter break.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving break will probably be when we finish teardown of all the Halloween display and make a decision what we're doing for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because we not only have, the winter holidays, but we also have potentially Mardi Gras afterward.
Yeah.
So, because in New Orleans, like, there is always a holiday coming up imminently between Halloween and Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way we live in this city. Like, half the year there,
Yeah.
you're bouncing from holiday to holiday.
And basically through Easter.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Though Lent does kind of put a wet blanket on everything for a bit.
Yeah, it does.
So, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we could give up skeletons for Lent.
No.
I don't think that's how Lent works, is it?
No.
But anyways. On to this week's topic, because we've already spent 16 minutes. And I really want to spend some time with all this. But basically, the 22 season, as we said last week, was incredible. We talked about it at length last week. We were so happy to be open for the first time in 3 years. Everything went very smoothly. Our numbers in terms of people were down, but our donations were up. Had a bunch of new actors. They were great. The scares and reactions were great. I've been enjoying every once in a while poking my head into the security camera footage.
Yeah.
And seeing what was going on. So I'm outside. I don't get to see all this shit,
Mm-hmm.
This is my way to participate. So yeah, we promise we're going to put videos and pictures of the haunt soon. Multiple requests on social media for us to do that. I don't blame you. Like, so, look at everything we said above, and that is why you don't have photos too. We bounced straight from Halloween to opening a yarn store.
Yeah.
That is insane.
It is.
And it's not Ellie's fault, to be clear again.
No.
She got the space when she found it, and she needed to open as soon as possible after getting the space. Timing was terrible, but it's not her fault that that's when it came up.
Right.
But yeah, we had a videographer go through.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an unlisted video. That's the raw footage, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have YouTubers
Right.
who went through. I may just share their video on Haunt Weekly, since they do show the haunt pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And get that in there as a temporary thing until we can get our stuff back from the videographer. And it's not his fault. Not their fault, rather. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's not their fault. They are working a mix of paid gigs and doing final exams for film school.
Yeah.
Final projects.
Yeah, which requires, it was either 4 or 6 mini films. So,
Well, I think he has to do like rotating stuff on each one. Like he's shooting one, directing another. You know what I mean?
yeah, but it's crazy.
Yeah, he has to
intense.
participate in 4 different films in different capacities. They have to participate in 4 different films. God damn it. I am not having a good day with my pronouns.
It's okay. I
But
understand.
they are participating in 4 different films in different capacities, was my understanding.
Yeah.
So I wish them luck, and I don't envy them.
Mm-mm.
I'm
No.
struggling with 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I'm about to crack.
Yeah.
But despite how awesome it was, we cannot claim everything went perfectly.
Mm.
Every season, every single season brings lessons, and this one is no different. So here are 7 things we are definitely doing differently in 2023. Crystal, take the lead.
Well, that's fitting because it's my position.
Yes, it is. That's one of the reasons I want you to take the lead.
Yeah. So, to be clear, nothing against the person that worked the first room.
Not at all. They were a first-year actor.
Yeah, they did great.
They threw themselves into it. They put a lot of extra into it, and it ended up being really good.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sorry.
they did. But there was, so Halloween's one of the times that Jonathan and I get to really communicate closely together on a project.
Yeah.
And I missed the communication during the open nights. And from a practical standpoint, it was harder to use the walkie-talkies whenever I wasn't in the first room than just banging on the thing or saying, hey, you know.
Yeah, the walkie-talkies are great, and we talked about that last week, and how we're going to expand the use of them, because they were wonderful. But there are still moments, especially when we're open, that we need to be able just to talk.
Yeah.
Open our mouths and talk. And even stay in character while we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that with walkie-talkies.
It is.
So, yeah, and also, because that's also the stalker role, it lets you manage the first half of the haunt very easily.
Right.
You can see what's going on, you can keep pushing people along, and keep the flow going. So, yeah, I want you back in that first room, and I think you want you back in that first room.
I do.
And
yeah.
that actor, we'll find something else for them. Like I said, they were excellent, but it's a logistical thing as much as anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really a logistical problem. And we learned a lesson. Like, you were able to really see and run the haunt from when you were higher up.
Yeah.
You could see over the walls and everything. And that was kind of nice, but that puts you all the way on the other side of the garage from me on Halloween night.
And whenever things broke, it was hard to get down and fix them. We only had one thing break Halloween night.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a break. It was a this is getting in my way. Can you move it kind of thing. But yeah, so logistically, I need to be on the ground and available to run from that first room. And also, I think that the first room is really the talkative, get to know people phase, which I learned about myself, that I like to talk to people. I like to pick out things about them.
Which is funny because, I mean, it makes perfect sense. We all, in some ways, when we're in our haunted house characters, we're doing something the opposite of what we do in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
We're all, and that makes a lot of sense because you're not a super talkative person.
I'm not.
You're not a very social person. We go to the bar to hang out, and if someone comes and tries to talk to us,
yeah,
go away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Vampire. You know.
Yes.
We're not good socializers broadly.
No.
I mean, you have the gift of gab when you need it. You really do. But it's not something we enjoy. I think that's the introvert in us coming out.
That, and I'm fairly imposing, so I can get a really good pop just from people being scared of me.
Yeah. Okay, well, item number 2 is one that impacts me directly.
Yes.
The Bernie mask is going to be retired, if at all possible.
Yes.
It has had a good, long run.
It really has.
Now, to go all the way back
to 2005,
the original Bernie mask, and I shit you not, was a $5 witch mask from Walmart.
Yep.
You look, post-Katrina New Orleans, you play the hand you're dealt. That's the hand we were dealt. And the thing is, since it was an old, quote-unquote, woman's mask, it was still very androgynous.
Yeah, old people kind of are.
Yeah, and that's why the DOA mask I have works for both male and female characters. I've seen it in both.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Is we upgraded, I think 2007, 2008, to a $60 to $80 DOA mask, which you can actually still get. You go on Amazon right now. We found it at Spirit, but you can get it anywhere online right now. Search letters DOA mask. You can get it. We actually own 3 of them, 2 regulars and 1 thin, and I wear the thin because it's slightly more comfortable.
Yeah.
Emphasis on slightly there, though. But it also is better for my hearing. However, we've talked repeatedly about upgrading past that, but there have been 2 problems. One is that the next step up is like 10 times the cost. It's literally an order of magnitude more.
Yeah.
Because the DOA mask is at that really high-end expensive side of mass-produced masks.
Right.
And now we're getting more into bespoke and, very few made silicone masks, basically. So, yeah, it's like we went from a $5 witch mask to a $60 mass-produced mask to now likely a $600 to $700 silicone mask. We're jumping tenfold each time. I hope we don't have to upgrade again.
No.
Because
I'm sorry. Bernie will just
have to
look
deal
like
with a
crap.
$600, $700 mask. Hey, I feel
Hey,
you.
by the time that happens, you may be old.
Yeah, I may just not need the mask. Yeah, that's a fair point. But yeah, but the other reason is we have to redo all of our marketing.
Yeah.
Because that mask is featured on our website. It is featured on our banner. It is featured on our flyers. It is featured on every goddamn thing tied to the Bernie Baxter name.
Yeah.
So we get a new mask. One of the first things we're going to have to do is go either to the yarn store or somewhere in the haunt and take new photos of it.
Yeah. New photos, new videos, and get the new face of Bernie out there.
And that's going to be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And
new banners.
Yeah, new banners. Like I said, new banners. All new physical stuff. Anything physical we have printed, other than the rules banner, has to be changed. So yeah, with Bernie Mask, you can basically also add all of our marketing is going to change in 2023.
Yeah.
I don't think the aesthetic's going to change, but the face will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically the DOA masks, I've not been happy with them the last few years. They've stretched some. They don't fit my face as well. I have trouble hearing in them, and they don't look convincing to me.
Yeah.
I want to get a professional. This character needs a professional mask. Reality is what it is. And so we're looking at both Immortal Masks, CFX, and others. We're kind of hoping to catch a Black Friday sale. So if you have anywhere else, we might want to source an old men's mask. Just an old man's mask, generic. In fact, it doesn't even need hair. It would be more consistent if it didn't have hair. But just an old man's mask. Let us know. That's where we're looking at right now. And before anyone says anything, I know I'm going to have to practice and spend time in it because silicone masks are way more difficult. I've been in a silicone mask briefly. They are much more difficult to work with. And I know that. So I know what I'm getting into. That's why I want to get it kind of soonish. So I have all year to try and adapt to it.
Yeah.
I'll scare Ellie or something with it. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's a little too true.
Yeah, anyways, number 3.
Number 3, the walk up.
Oh, God.
So, unfortunately, even though we put signs out, we can never put enough signage. This is something that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
If you think you have enough signs, you don't.
Well, if you put out the signs you need and then double it, I think is what we said, or triple it.
Yeah.
I think we used the firewood rule.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But we didn't have enough signage. So we're going to change out the signs that lead up to the haunted house because the trick-or-treat display, now that it's a walkthrough, is confusing people about, do you go there or do you go to the haunted house to go to the haunted house? So,
yeah. And according to the trick-or-treat team, the walkthrough did work really well.
Yeah.
I did not see it in the times I stuck my head around, but they're the ones that really know. So I trust their judgment.
Yeah.
But, the main thing is we got to make it more clear where people go and how they get from A to B.
Yeah, and I think I have an idea about how to do this. We've already talked about getting more of the privacy fabric to drape over the tunnel of pumpkins.
Yeah.
And that will give us a nice large thing to put signs on that say haunted house this way.
Yeah. We're going to figure this out. There's a lot of ideas going around. All of them good, honestly. And that's the problem. We have too many good ideas to fix this one. But we do know we need more signs. We need more clear lighting. And the thing is, we lit up the end of the tunnel where you go into the queue line. We lit that up like crazy.
Yeah.
And it still did not work. It still caused confusion. So my thought is, we just figure out, I think your idea of blocking off the tunnel is good. At least that side of it.
Exactly.
I think that's good. I think what we should do in general, though, is focus on getting new signs and where to put them and how to place them. And maybe even take some element of the queue line, the cattle gate, out from that entrance.
Yeah.
Just to give a clear indication, because it is set way far back in the road.
It is, and one of the other things we could do is get signs that are waist high or at eyesight or eye line, because the signs that we had were small and stuck into the ground. They were like knee height.
Yeah, and that produced its own problem, because even though we did have a lot of signs, I noted after Halloween night, many of those signs were not where I left them because kids running out or kids just playing around or whatever. Yeeted, punted them, just tripped on them, and they went flying.
Yeah,
Went on a little walkabout,
exactly.
So yeah, all that is true. The walk up is going to be fixed. Number 4, one dear to my heart, the donation box. This year we had to repair all the guts of the donation box. 4 years being left in a not good place. A lot of the wood rotted. The repairs went great. Solid, impossible to break into pretty much. Money was safe. Good job. But it also lost a lot of its lights.
Yeah.
And the problem with that, as someone told us, one of our friends, one of those people that come and talk to you at the bar when you're,
Yeah.
But he was actually quite nice and helpful, so I'm going to pick on him for a minute. But basically, he said, yeah, it's the same size and shape as a trash can. And it is. That's a fair point. And without all the lights on it, it was difficult to see that it was different. Now, when he came by, we were missing one of the key lights. We were missing the light that lit up the actual donation sign. And I actually fixed that after he left that night. But I think his point, though, is it needs to be more immediately visible.
Right, because used to we had the entire thing wrapped in purple and orange and green lights, plus the spotlights on the QR codes.
Yeah. Plus everything. Yeah, it was like lit up like a very oddly shaped Christmas tree.
Yeah, yeah. And this year we weren't able to do that.
Yeah, we scaled back a lot because over the 4 years, the lights that we had on the outside, the string lights, broke, and we didn't really replace them. And we kind of just felt that the spotlights on the QR codes and the spotlight on the donation signs, plus the eerie glowing light inside, which is still so cool.
It is.
Would be enough, and it was not.
Yeah.
So that is something, clearly it was effective. Donations were up, and nearly all of it was cash. But still, we should probably, I agree, make it a little more obvious. Number 5.
Actor get-togethers and public presence.
Yeah.
So historically, we've talked about getting your actor together, building up your community within your haunt. But we've been really bad about doing it.
Yeah, this has always been a do as we say, not as we do moment.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to fix that.
Yeah. Going back to the not good at being around people and wanting to hiss and run away.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got to
even people we like.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's not necessarily people we dislike. Like, the guy I was telling that gave us the pointer on the donation box. I like him fine. He's a fine guy. I'm just antisocial.
Yeah, and after the last day of the haunt is not the time to approach us.
No. All I want, if I'm at a bar on Halloween night after the haunt closes, what I want is beer, largely, ideally brought by conveyor belt, and that's really the end of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, continue. But yeah, we've been especially bad about over the past 3 years. We're fixing that.
Yeah, we're going to try.
Really hard.
Including starting at Thanksgiving. We have sent out invitations in the past to a Thanksgiving get-together and was successful once. And then pandemic happened. So we'll try again this year.
And it may not be on Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
Because Thanksgiving Day, as a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, this is kind of Thanksgiving is a religious holiday. Oh, I'm sorry. Turkey Day is something of a religious holiday.
Yeah.
I hold it very much sacred. So yeah, but we'll do something around Thanksgiving time, and then probably have another during the actual winter holidays.
Yeah, and it might even be the weekend after Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Because the 26th is the grand opening.
Yeah.
So that would be tight to do it then.
Yeah, we're going to try to do something around then. I don't know all the plans. In fact, I don't know the plans because we haven't come up with the plans. But we've already sort of sent feelers to some of our actors about when it would work. So we're already working on it in some way. But yeah, and I want to also post in the crew group, the private crew group, at least once every 2 weeks. Ideally to share some scare cam footage.
Yeah.
And I want to do the same on our public Facebook pretty much every week. I'm going to shoot for Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is, A, that's the day I have the least going on. And B, it's also the start of the weekend when we get more visitors and attention on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out perfectly to do it on Friday. So, what I'll do is when I create the scare cam videos, if you are interested in it, if this is something you all want, I will cross post to Haunt Weekly because we don't have anything that goes out on Friday typically.
Right.
So if you want, I'll cross post to Haunt Weekly, and yeah, I'll have the Bernie Baxter logo and all that shit. I'm not doing 2 versions of it.
No.
But you'll get to see the videos. Let me know if that's something you want. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly Twitter, Haunt Weekly Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. All right. Number 6. This one has been my pet peeve for a while, and I'm finally fucking doing something about it, you know? And that has been the issue of too much line of sight. Our layout has really served us well.
Yeah, and to be fair, this is the most line of sight layout we've ever had.
Yeah.
Because we do typically change it every 3 years.
Yeah. And this was the one that had most line of sight. But one of the things we did was we hung curtains between rooms. But when that became no bueno following the pandemic, the line of sight issues just kind of exploded. And I'm not a big fan of hanging curtains over doorways anywho. I don't like that. But we did do it. It
confuses people.
It does. It really does. And the layout maximized the space we have for scares. We get 5 full zones, 4 rooms, 1 hallway. And it allowed us a decent amount of storage space. So it was a good balance of scare and practicality. But the big problem is that when you enter the first room, for example, after the outside L, you can see straight from the entrance of the first room deep into the second room. And then when you're in the second room, you can see fairly far into the hallway at the back. And when you're at the other end of the hallway, you can see deep through the 4th room into the 5th room.
Yeah.
That has to stop.
It does.
That really, really does. Now, luckily, that's not that difficult to fix. It's just we're going to have to tear down a lot of panels and move things around.
Yeah, we're basically going to do a complete teardown this season.
Yeah. And so what the plan is now is there'll be the outside L, you come through. First room, then a mini hallway leading to the second room. Second room will have some line of sight into the third, but not much, because it's at that angle going up. You know what I mean? Up toward the counter, up toward the back wall. Then from the third room, then you go into the third room, then between third and fourth, another mini hallway, 4th room exit. So we lose a zone.
Yeah.
And instead gain 2 half zones?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're big enough to do anything with.
We'll figure it out.
But honestly, I mean, and to give credit where it's due, this is an idea I got from Leonard Pickle. Was these types of mini hallways something he advocates for? I mean, I'm never going to use this triangle-based layout or octagonal layout or whatever it's called. I'm never going to use that. I'm sorry. It just isn't. It's a non-starter with me. But the idea of using short hallways to break line of sight is good, and that's what we intend to do.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
This 7. Is the cheat.
Yeah, this is the cheat. So right. If you feel this is a cheat, then just consider the bonus the real one.
Yeah. So the theme. This one may be more drastic because in the past, other than our very first year, that was, doesn't really count. But since we've been at this house, so since 2007, we have done nothing but people themes, like realistic people.
Yeah.
And we may be going to do something with a little bit different, a little more fantastical.
And here's the thing. I was thinking about this the other day. We can do fantastical in the haunt and still have a grounded story.
Yeah.
We could have a story of a mad doctor who tried experimental treatments on the patients that caused them to have hallucinations.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, obviously, this is not the story, but you get the idea. You can do this where you have these stories and still have fantastical elements. You just got to give a reason for there to be fantastical elements that work in reality.
Right. Exactly.
But anyways, yeah, we may do a more fantastical theme, and we may cover up that gorgeous bookshelf.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting moved. If it survives the move, which is a big if.
Unfortunately.
Then we may put boards in front of it, just to make it disappear without actually disappearing it.
Yeah, one of the problems with that is where it is. The first room always has to have some kind of library theme. Like one year it was a library. This year it was a library themed bar.
Yeah. Which,
I mean, hey, it was kind of cool, actually. I thought it was kind of nice. But it's always got to be library themed because it's a bookcase ostensibly,
Yeah.
and it's immediately I guess you could turn it into like the backdrop for a saloon, like in a Wild West saloon, the big thing in the back behind the bar. I don't know, but it's also way thick for that. This is a beefy lad.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to moving the fucker, to give you an idea of how beefy it is.
I'm not looking forward to getting all the books off of it to move it.
Well, just take it to Ellie's store.
Yeah, no, that's not the right kind of book.
It will become Ellie's Yarn and Law Lending Library.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. But yeah. So, yeah, we're going to do something different with the theme. I don't know what yet. We've only started. In fact, you've just heard about how deep we've gotten into conversation.
Yeah.
We really aren't. We don't usually pick a theme until we're layout first, theme second.
Yeah.
That's kind of the modus operandi for us. And that's what I think we're going to do. And we're going to try to staple the layout down December. Mm-hmm. Even if we don't get it finished built, get it where we know what the layout's going to be.
Exactly. So layout, story, and theming kind of go together.
Yeah.
Because I like to have the story, because as you're telling me the story or I'm reading the story, I get pictures of how the rooms in the haunt will look in my head.
Yeah. And sometimes it works a little back and forth, because sometimes you say, okay, I want to do something with spiders this year.
Yeah.
And we try to write a story centers around that.
Yeah, we are never doing spiders again.
Too much pain in the ass.
It is. We did that one year because they were really fucking cheap, and
we were
good
broke.
on them. Spiders can be burned with fire or something. Not real ones. They're really helpful and nice. But fake ones can go up.
Well, then all the spider webs. Jesus Christ.
That's the problem. It's not the actual spiders. It's the spider webs. And you have to get the good ones. And don't cheap out on your spider webs.
No.
If you're doing a spider web theme, either get the beef netting or get the quality spider webs. If you want the stretchy kind.
Yeah, if you want to get store-bought spider webs, get quality. Your other option is the old glue gun with a fan trick.
Yep.
But that takes a shit ton of patience to do.
Well, it takes a lot of glue sticks.
Yeah, and a lot of glue sticks. It's expensive as fuck, too.
Yeah.
Go watch the Tom Scott video where he worked in a haunted house for more information.
Yeah, exactly. But just buy the $5 or $6, spider webs instead of the Dollar Tree ones.
And trust me, it's worth the $5 to $6. Because you'll get more than 5 times the coverage out of it.
Yeah.
You really will. I don't know how.
Yeah, and you're able to shape it and caves and all sorts of stuff. But anyway. But yeah, basically, even after 3 years off, some people recognize the first room a little bit. Yeah, well, and it was annoying because Halloween night, we had at least 2 groups that were like, yep, that's where it comes out. Yep, that's where the scare is. And it's like, God damn it, don't tell the person you're with.
Yeah, I thought the reason you go through a haunt first and then take someone new with you is because you want to know where the scares are coming from and watch them react.
Exactly.
That's supposed to be half the fucking fun of that.
Yeah.
Idiot. So yeah, here's the thing. We are going to share a video and photos. Like I said, either we'll share what the YouTubers did or we'll get stuff back from the videographer. But just remember, next year, it's going to look totally different. New layout and new theme for 2023.
Yep.
And our bonus pick.
All outdoor lights that are not grounded are getting replaced.
Yeah.
Why they sell outdoor spotlights that are not grounded, I have no idea. But
we had a real issue with every time we got the tiniest amount of rain.
Yeah.
The light's not working and tripping the GFI.
Exactly.
And I know grounding alone doesn't fix that, but it's a big step. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're going to work on this. Well, hopefully everything in the yard display will have 3 prongs next year. I mean, we have a shit ton of lightweight 2-prong extension cord.
Yeah.
But I think that is better used in the haunt for plugging in lights and things there rather than the yard for obvious reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
The
thing is that we had misplaced some of our good outdoor cords inside the haunt.
Yeah.
Whenever Ida happened, we needed long extension cords quickly. Those are the ones we found. And then we forgot that they were in there.
Yeah.
Until the light display was already set up. So
we ended up buying more cords.
Yeah.
But I think after Christmas sales, I want to go and hit like a Lowe's or Home Depot or something, and stock up on those outdoor display cords.
Yeah, on both the cords and the spotlights with the grounded.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our spotlights are not grounded.
I don't
either.
know why. I don't know why that's even a thing.
No, it shouldn't be.
And it's so frustrating because we worked so hard to get more or less, like I said, all the cords were almost completely 3-prong grounded.
Yeah, and off the ground
Yeah.
because we don't leave them in the ground, and
We
we
do have
turn
some-
them upside down so that you don't have water pouring straight into it.
Yeah, we did a good job with them. It's just we need to unify our entire light display, which we already made some big steps this year by getting those aforementioned the long go to the light rant. I can't remember what episode that was,
Mhm.
but getting those went a long way to unifying things too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting next year. I think we got a lot of things we want to change, and we've got a lot of work to do come Thanksgiving and winter break, especially winter break.
Yeah.
Because with the official store opening Thanksgiving break, I don't know if we're going to get a lot.
No, I think we'll probably be too busy finishing up for the store.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. So what we'll do is, like I said, plan on winter break, because you get 2 weeks off,
Mm-hmm.
which means I get 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
We'll do all the stuff that we just described, or at least start on it. The main thing I want to get over winter break is I want to get the panels and everything in the right place
Mm-hmm.
to see if the proof of concept works for
Yeah.
my idea.
And I think it might actually be kind of cool to start posting with your weekly scare cam
Yeah.
post on Bernie. Post this is what we did this week in the haunt.
Yeah.
Because people always ask us, how long does this take you? This is going to be an accurate year to see how long it takes us if we do that.
Yeah, and oftentimes we take November fully off from the haunt
Yeah.
just because we're tired and burned out. And usually this would be the quiet time us to go get drunk in the French Quarter one weekend.
Yeah.
But with the yarn store, we just went from one giant project to another, right into it. And I don't think we're going to be able to take any time off until December. So we may have to bake in a day or two over winter break that we just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Play DRG,
Yeah.
go to the French Quarter if we want,
Mm-hmm.
do those types of things.
I agree.
So that is it. So you can, it's either 7 or 8, depending on how you feel about our cheat. 7 things we're changing next year. All in all, I'm excited about next year.
Yeah.
A new theme, new layout. And here's the thing that I know the visitors don't get. For them, this was the first time they saw that haunt.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the same haunt in there for damn near 4 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for some fucking change. I'm sick of it. It's a good haunt, but I'm sick of it. I want something new.
Me too.
So that's what we're going to do. Got anything else to add right now?
No.
We can end a few minutes early. So on that note, everyone, thank you very much for spending the past 50 or so minutes with us. We greatly appreciate your patience. Like I said, 2022, amazing year. 2023, gonna be much better, I think. It's gonna be muy bueno. And please, if you do have suggestions on where to get very high-end old person masks, especially for someone who's already a little hard of hearing,
Yeah.
please let us know. You can let us know at hauntweekly.com, hauntweekly on Twitter, hauntweekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/hauntweekly. Please drop us a line. Let us know any suggestions, especially if they have Black Friday sales. That is a big bonus point right now.
Yes.
But on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan,
I'm Crystal.
and we will see you all next week with an episode that I believe is divisible by 4. That means it's time to finally do the news. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Should be. We missed the last news episode, so we got some catching up to do.
It'll be busy.
It'll be a busy one. See y'all then.